and now I'm stuck in this loop again. It got me thinking now, should I take it or leave it out? What would happen if I talk to you? Got a feeling that I get a blue. Would you be my Fortnite? Would you be my Fortnite? Should I take it or leave it out? It got me thinking now, and now I'm stuck in this loop again. It got me thinking now, should I take it or leave it out? What would happen if I talk to you? Got a feeling that I get a blue. Would you be my Fortnite? What would happen if I talk to you? Don't know why you left me bleeding, with a broken heart. Tell me if I deserve this feeling. I thought that you know that we had something special, till you end up all this way. Please tell me why you left me bleeding, with a broken heart. Tell me why I deserve this feeling. I thought that you loved me, I thought that you need me, till you end up all this way. Have you forgot all the moments while we had was so true? This world was made for two. I did it those words, they hurt me. You'd found out what made me angry, then use it to your ability. Now you're trying to avoid me. You're the big problem here, a bully to many for so many years. Now shut your mouth, close your ears. Never learned your lesson and nobody cares. That's what you're here for, here to make me miserable. I know you get joy out of it. You hurt me but call me the same names again. You know I never liked them, and that's so unforgivable. I know you ruined my childhood. You hurt me and do it all over again. You ruined my childhood. You hurt me and do it all over again.
Alright, we're good.
Okay, hello everybody, and welcome back to another Valhalla Campo live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, like your normally run schedule, we have some Fortnite duos. I hope you guys are excited. I'm excited. With that being said, let's no hesitation here. Let's jump right into the team introductions. Them being the primary team, the team that we're gonna watch the most, that being Chef Jack and Little Ben, aka Chef Jack and Frozen Jammers. Their team name Let Them Cook. This is a team, or a Div 1 team. So they're going to have a lot of competition, going to be going up against the best of the best when it comes to Valhalla. We're looking forward to see how they do. This is a new duo, definitely a more confident duo. So hoping to see some of that transfer into their gameplay tonight. With that being said, let's go to the secondary team. That being Breakfast Toast, aka Gavin and Logan. Gavin being known as Novel Movie in game, and Logan being known as LMC Channel in game. So, assuming that Chef Jack and Ben die, we will of course switch to the secondary team, and assuming that the secondary team of Breakfast Toast dies, we will then switch to our third or tertiary team, which tonight is Full Box 200, aka Jordan and Eli, or Ravine FN and Wash Beam. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of good Fortnite for you guys tonight. And drop codes were very on tonight, so we shouldn't have to wait. Shouldn't be a lot of delays. Should be dropping any minute now. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're excited to be back. I'm excited to be back up here. Love getting to watch and cast some good Fortnite for you guys. And again, hoping to see a little bit of Chef Jack's and Ben's confidence really show out here. These are guys that really, no matter the game they play, they're pretty confident. We see it here in Fortnite, and for some of you that are familiar, we've seen it in Valorant as well, especially more on Ben's front with that. So assuming that this is going to transfer over, I have actually not had the opportunity to watch these guys outside of the game, or outside of some very entry-level practice together. I've not seen what these guys are doing in drops, not seen how they're playing. So this is just about as much of a learning experience it is for me as it is for you guys. So I hope everybody's excited, and honestly, I hope we get to watch some of these other teams. Logan and Gavin, and of course Jordan and Eli, both being very good teams, very good rosters that we will hope we will get to watch them as well. But ladies and gentlemen, we are loading into the map, so with that being said, let's tune into some Fortnite. Alright, just catching the loading screen, currently watching Chef Jack's perspective. I believe Chef Jack is the IGL for this team. I'm not totally sure on that, don't quote me, but Chef Jack rocking the new skin. He just bought it. He's locked in. He's ready to go. He's been a little bit of a ball of energy today, so it'll be really interesting to see if any of that comes into play in this drop as well. They might get a little aggressive. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, no pings yet on the map. Actually, we do see 2 split pings. And looks they are going to blue ping, which I believe is a little bit of an unnamed POI. Chef Jack getting caught up a little bit there with his glider, but and looks like they're going to one of these kind of in-between bridge kind of locations. did see the glider, the visual audio there, so I don't know if that's a little Ben tripping that or if that is someone else. Actually, it does look like it is someone else, so they're going to have to be aware of that. Actually, it's not an unnamed location. Looks like it's going to be this Shifty Shafts, I believe. Shiny Shafts. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Shiny Shafts is where they're going to land. This is a location that I actually talked about a little bit before practice. So, and we do have an early contest here. Chef Jack getting some shots. Isn't able to find any, unfortunately. And right now, these guys are split up, so they're going to have to be aware of this other team that is contesting them. Chef Jack going to find a little augment there. And they're going to find a lot of metal at this POI. One of the reasons why they wanted to land here was because of the amount of metal that you can farm from here. And his teammate could be in trouble here. Jack going to go check it out. And I assume we have 2 bats now. I assume that's why we see little Ben drop one there. Interesting tech to use the bat there instead of getting the metal. I mean, I know that there is a lot of metal to get in this site, but was it really that much more efficient for the wasted material? I'm not sure. We're seeing some footsteps. Chef Jack kind of lurking a little bit. Little Ben making a little bit more noise. We do see an open chest. Jack knows it wasn't him. He's going to leave the shotgun. Oh, when he sees someone, Jack takes a bunch of shots. Isn't able to break them, but puts them in a really tough position. Oh, wow, gets one pumped, though. Oh, my gosh. But luckily, little Ben able to help him out in that engagement. And the instant knock means that that was a solo player, ladies and gentlemen. Chef Jack going to do his best to get back up here. And having a mini for little Ben as well. Chef Jack wasting some valuable ammo. They are going to find a good amount of it here, as it looks like it could be one of these unmarked vaults. We see a lot of loot coming out. Chef Jack just using ammo to break these instead of his pickaxe. Not really understanding why, especially when he could be getting materials. I assume it's an efficiency thing, but again, I just don't know if it is really that much more efficient. These guys are going to break the chug barrels, excuse me, to get just about up to 200 each. Jack being on 190 and little Ben being on 200. Now we're going to see a lot of this material farming, material management. Again, going to get a bunch of metal. As we see, most of this POI looks like it is made out of metal. And they're able to kind of break these little, I don't even know what to call them, these little hills of metal here on the ground that isn't brick or anything. So we have to assume, we see Chef Jack on 500, have to assume that little Ben is close, if not there already. Jack now trying to get some brick. I anticipate that they're going to be able to get to 500 of each just from this POI, which is going to be a really good start for this team. And we see Jack's loadout being 2 guns, the bat for movement, and then 2 healing items. Actually, we are just on Jack's perspective. Little Ben must have forgot to share his screen. So we will have to get that next drop, unfortunately. So we're just going to be watching Chef Jack's perspective. I apologize for that little inconvenience, ladies and gentlemen. We see the launch pad to break the zip line. Could potentially slow down other teams, but does give them a way to rotate out as well, which looks like Jack is going to take. We assume little Ben is right behind him. And no real worry for these guys yet, other than that initial engagement, which again was just with the solo. These guys are looted up pretty well. are able to kind of take their time here because of the loot and their materials here. They're actually going to be able to be picky in this early to mid-game transition of what engagements they want to take. Looks like they might try and pick some people off from Outlaw. They slowly kind of creep towards it, but aren't really sure what they want to do yet. Again, just surveying this area here, actually being in a really interesting position, kind of in a little bit of a plateau in between the mountaintops here. So able to very quickly kind of change perspectives of where they're looking and still have high ground most of the time. We're going to see Jag use this bat for movement, trying to get some extra materials that he's finding around. And it looks like they are finally going to push Outlaw and see if there's any leftover loot or anybody lurking there. I'm surprised we're not seeing some extra material management here. At least from Chef Jack's perspective here, not getting any of this. What looks like could be brick and wood, just kind of leaving the structures all by themselves. We do find some good chests here. Jack gonna switch bats just to get that a little bit of extra charge from what he used. And there we go. Finally, we see him getting some wood. And deciding to rotate again. Unfortunately, we don't exactly know where Storm Circle is yet, so I can't confirm whether they're rotating into it. I anticipate that they would be, especially with it closing in. But that's definitely something they're going to have to be aware of as the game starts to speed up a little bit, as we are officially in this mid-game area. And these guys are just chilling right now. No stress on their backs. They found that one solo player, and other than that, they have been big chilling. Actually, it might have been a duo. Little Ben might have killed his teammate a little earlier, and then found that guy as the solo. So, because it's saying that they have 2 kills as a squad. So I'm gonna assume that it actually was a duo, and Little Ben just cleaned up the first one earlier on in that POI. And again, them being full materials here, they don't really need to do much. They can kind of just rotate around. Actually, we're going to see some shots here come from behind Chef Jack. He's going to build up pretty quickly. And Little Ben going to try and put some covering fire on him. And if these guys can kind of push this, see, and this is exactly what we talked about. One of these engagements, they can decide if they want to take or not. They see someone free. Unfortunately, Chef Jack not able to hit any shots. Is able to get some there on the guy at the peak of that mountain. But without a more substantial movement item, the bat being a very good movement item, but without something like the shockwaves or something to really close that distance very quickly, they're going to have to be kind of picky when it comes to this engagement. You guys are just chilling right now. No need to rush this fight, and it looks like they want to take it. Finally, we see them getting out, but a huge shot coming through on Chef Jack. That hurts him quite a bit. Luckily, he still has some minis, able to get back up to 50 pretty quickly. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I just punched the pop filter. Looks like currently sitting at Canyon Crossing, potentially waiting deciding to see if that team does decide to follow them, essentially push them. Just trying to loot up a little bit extra. Trying to find this chest that was just completely hiding from them. Actually, Chef Jack trying to get an angle on that team he was just fighting. Does find a big here. That's actually huge for him. He's gonna be able to get back to 199, I believe. Yep. Still close enough to 200. Doesn't matter too much. And there's a big for Little Ben. He's gonna be able to get back to 200 as well. And these guys just kind of being very aware of what they need to do to put themselves in the upper echelon of these drops. Which, of course, is something that Coach Kyle emphasizes, that placement is more important than kills, and specifically 4 points in the league placement does weigh a good factor into those points, especially once you start to get later and you're looking at, of course, a win and your top 5. Right on the edge of circle here. These guys can take a lot of time. Looks like they might rotate through this tunnel, which could be scary. A little bit of a choke point here. Depending on where this spits them out too, they almost could be in a worse position here. Seeing the landing pad, deciding not to take it though. We do see some builds at one of the peaks of that mountain. Chef Jack making a mental note of it. Chef Jack doesn't even see the enemy team that he just completely skates into. Does take some damage, not a lot, luckily for him, but he's definitely some. Little Ben joining him now. And unfortunately, the fight is kind of happening above Jack. He's going to have to build up and try to get with his teammate here. Little Ben going to go down pretty quickly, actually. Jack's just going to decide to get out. Puts himself on top of the mountain. And again, something I talked about. I was a little worried about that push. That push into that tunnel is a choke point. Didn't seem like it was going to put them in a good position. And it did exactly that. Put them in a pretty bad position. And now Jack is going to have to play super carefully here to try and get this reboot. And we see the visual audio there. We saw the footsteps, and then we see some gunfire going on. We see the train there as well. Jack just lurking at this point, being very aware of how much time that reboot card has before it expires. Of course, he wants to try and get his teammate. Obviously, that will give them the best favors of being able to turn this drop around, but needs to make sure that the other team isn't lurking on this card. Chef Jack is going to slowly start to move here. Looks like he's actually going to wait another second. Potentially he's going to wait for this circle to close, and is going to be willing to take some storm damage if he has to. Luckily, he does have 3 medkits, so he doesn't have to worry about it too much, and I assume that it is still 1 tick. At max, it's probably 2 ticks, so not a lot of damage. And he's going to creep all the way to him. He's going to have to take a decent amount of storm damage here. It is still 1 tick. And Chef Jack just trying to slowly creep his way to this reboot card. So it doesn't look like the other team is here anymore, but he has to still be careful. He's going to go up the same way that he went before. Crouch walking, trying to make as little noise as possible. He's going to get the reboot. He's going to use the medkit here to pick up one of Little Ben's medkits. Going to get himself back to full. And going to get out of the storm, back into the tunnel. A reboot right above them that I believe is still in. Oh, never mind. As I said it, talk about caster curse, ladies and gentlemen. That is the definition of it. We see some fighting going on right outside, though. Chef Jack having a little bit of some movement issues. Oh my gosh, a lot of damage coming through on him. He needs to get out, and he needs to get out now. Luckily, has these med kits, so can take some storm damage, but cancels it early. I don't know if that was a misclick or if he got a little panic because it seemed like he was getting pushed. I'm going to assume it was the second option. And unfortunately for Jack here, he is in a bad position. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Not a great way for them to end drop 1, but we will turn back into them for drop 2. But with that being said, let's go to our secondary team of Breakfast Toast and see how they're doing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, currently watching Breakfast Toast. Again, for those of you just now tuning in, this is Gavin and Logan. Gavin being Novel Movie and Logan being LMC Channel. Looks like we're a little bit farther into their drop. Unfortunately, it looks like Gavin's issues, or actually, excuse me, Logan's stream is having some issues. So it looks like we're just going to be watching from Gavin's perspective right now for this drop. Which will, of course, get those solved after the eliminations. Okay, and we are on the move here. Storm is coming in. These guys going to rotate. And actually, looking from Gavin's loadout here, having 2 movement items, only having shields. Going to take a couple shots at this team right in front of them. They have to be aware they could get held in circle here if they're not careful. A lot of damage coming through on Gavin. Logan going to go down. Gavin going to have to finish this out as a solo. Going to use a shockwave there. Good use of the shockwave to distance himself. He's going to be able to heal up. Not much, but a little bit. Gavin going to have to get out again quickly, though, because of that storm. He's going to shockwave right into another team. Going to take some shots, but instantly going to build up here. Going to get on this motorcycle. Not a great form of movement in this season. Not very fast, and you are susceptible to a lot of damage. Gavin actually going to use it pretty effectively here. Try to distance himself as much from that fighting as possible. And definitely not in an ideal position for next storm, but not in a bad one either. He's able to kind of hug the outskirts of Mass Meadow here and hopefully rotate dead side from where everyone else is going. Has to be aware, though, he is seeing and hearing the car audio. I believe we actually saw another player right there. Gavin could be getting pushed. We do see a wind spray. He could actually decide to use that for movement. Again, not a great rotational item either, but if he had to, he could. Gavin just doing his best to place at this point. He's thinking about taking some shots, decide not to, doesn't want to give away his position. And finally, he's going to beam someone else. Hits them for 115, unfortunately unable to get a knock. And now Gavin's in a rough spot here. So many teams kind of converging around and on him. Doing his best to actually hold them in a circle here. Gavin's going to take a lot of damage from this circle every time he's in it, though. Gonna pick up a refreshed bat. Gonna build as much as he can to give himself some cover. Still not in circle yet, though. Luckily, these minis are able to be popped pretty quickly. and is able to make it in the circle. Actually kind of put himself on high ground here. He's going to go all the way to the top of this high ground. Going to take some shots. He needs to box up here. He slowly but surely is. And is able to kind of pick of this loot from the player that just died in front of him. Decides to ditch the shockwaves. Just going to stick with the one movement item. Out of metal. He needs to switch to brick here. Wood being a little too weak at this point. And kind of gives up his high ground a little bit. But see some other fighting going on. Oh no, this is not looking good for Gavin, especially if this other team third parties. Gavin gets a huge shotgun shot though for 95 damage. Just some insane placement here, or playing here from Gavin to keep himself alive on such low health. And there we see the brick being used. Gavin having to rotate it into the circle here on so little health. Oh, and just unluckily is going to go down. A good 5th place finish, though, from Breakfast Toast. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we will see if our third team, Full Box 200, is still in their game. And it looks like they are. So again, this is Full Box 200, aka Eli and Jordan. Eli being Washbean and Jordan being Ravine FN. Towards the very end of this drop, still actually having some pretty insane amount of people left for the circle states. Eli actually going to get a knock there pretty quickly. And they're going to secure the kill there. Now, one of the great things about Eli and Jordan is just their play style. They play so well together. They're so aware of each other. These guys' communication is through the roof. And actually, Coach Kyle is in there right now. So, in these high stressful situations, let's take a little peek to see what's going on in their comms.
Right here. We have to rotate now.
Here. I'm going. Come.
Just follow Jordan. Hit to your
In there.
up and left, Jordan.
Eli, come. Eli, stop fighting.
Eli,
I can't.
he can't stop fighting. Jordan. He's being attacked. He's being keyed. That was not an Eli
Let me
aggression.
chug, let me chug.
Yeah, chug. I'm waiting.
I'm gonna get 50. Alright, good.
Come.
Up down.
I'll drop you my chug. I have 90. Come.
No, I 60. It's fine.
Get the gold and come right here. I'm in a decent spot.
Nice. On me.
I think we get one tile up.
No, right here. We're chilling.
I'm getting a tile up. Tile mass. What am I doing? No mass. Zero mass. I'm waiting for one more to rotate. I'm gonna try to throw. Behind us. 0-1.
I've got so much mats.
I got body.
Nice.
You're good.
Here, I'll give you mats.
Thank you.
Drop mats if you need.
I'm going.
Okay.
Getting like.
For next time, calm that like a second or two beforehand. Because Eli was not ready for you to move.
I'm dead. Like, what is this kid doing? Not even teammates. Like. What?
Just rat for the time being, E. Just rat for the time being. There you go.
I had a stupid gold rush.
Okay.
Top 5. Nice. You have to put in your build, just build. Don't be afraid to build.
Yep, just build high and build strong, bud.
Top 4.
I'm with. Okay, just keep building high, Eli. Just keep building high.
One more shotgun.
You have more mats and you have more heals. Take a second, take a beat. He can't go through the steel long enough for you. Just build defensively. Okay.
Nice.
He's up top. He's up top. Sweet. Build high.
I'm the mats. No,
Next time, obviously.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, an unfortunate second place there for Eli and Jordan being in such a stressful situation. We see Eli just a little short on mats there, not able to get himself in the position that he wanted to be. Some great comms, we heard it. Again, something that this team has not mastered, because of course there's always a way to improve there, but something that this team has down to an art almost. These guys' comms are trusting each other. Congratulations to Eli and Jordan on a great second place finish. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go back to our first team of Chef Jack and Little Ben. So give us 1 second. All right, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are just waiting for drop number 2. Again, hoping to see. I know they got, actually no, I think they got like 10th or something. I don't totally remember, but hoping to see a better drop from Little Ben and Chef Jack at this point. Everyone else having phenomenal drops. See a 5th place coming out of Breakfast Toast. I know they're happy with that, and a really good second place from Full Box. I know they're actually probably not very satisfied with that. Those guys, they want first places. They are not satisfied with anything but. So probably a little heartbreaking for them. I think they're probably beating themselves up a little bit, but they played very well. A very good second place for them as well. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, again, of course, we are going to be ready to go any minute now as soon as these drop codes are posted, and we will be having some more Fortnite. But for now, you just get to hang out with me, which I hope is enjoyable for some of you. And I appreciate everyone that is talking in chat, everyone that is tuning in and watching the stream. I hope you guys are all having a great time. And we are getting some drop codes up now, which means just in a few minutes, we should be able to switch back to the gameplay. At this point, a lot of the teams just kind of warming up, trying to keep it light and casual. Some of these guys are 1v1ing. Some of them are doing some other game modes, potentially Fortnite Reloaded or anything like that, just to kind of keep themselves warm, keep themselves ready to go. And so that way, when they do get into drop, they've not lost anything, they haven't gone cold or anything like that. Typically, these drop codes take a couple minutes to load in here, so not anything crazy surprising, as we have drop codes for Div 2 and Div 1 at this point. So just a few minutes again, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are all excited to watch some more Fortnite. Honestly, it's so good to be back. So it's something that I kind of say, I kind of glance over a little bit, but we don't really talk about it a lot. And I love being up here for you guys. I love being able to cast these guys. I love just being able to watch esports. For those of you that know me and have had the opportunity to speak to me a little bit, you guys will know that I love esports, very passionate about esports. So just being able to be up here is a great time for me, and being able to do some of the blessings that I get to do while I'm up here, like interviewing some of the students and that kind of stuff as well. So looks like we are on a 5-minute countdown for Div 1 and a 6-minute countdown for Div 2. Of course, the 3 teams that we were watching tonight, 2 of them are Div 1 and 1 of them is Div 2. And now with that being said, some of you guys might be asking yourself, does that mean that Let Them Cook and Full Box 200 are in the same lobby? Yes, that is precisely what that means. Both of these teams are Div 1. Our first team and our third team are both in Div 1, which means there is always a chance that we could see some Valhalla Camp Hill kill another Valhalla Camp Hill team. That's just the way Fortnite goes. Again, a great first drop. Honestly, I would love to pick, especially Chef Jack and Little Ben's brain. I'd love to be able to ask them some questions. Unfortunately, they have to kind of lock back in for their next drop as the code is up. But I know these guys are cooking something up. I know these guys are ready to go. We don't call him Chef Jack for nothing. It's because he's always in the kitchen cooking something up.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep, Chef Jack over here. I don't know if you guys were able to hear him, but he's ready to go. He is feeling the vibes. he wants to perform better this drop than last drop. Again, I hope you guys are able to hear that. That's just so funny. The timing on that was just amazing. These guys definitely want to perform better. These guys are a team that can do so well. They've just not really worked out these last little kinks of meshing together and really becoming a new team together. So as soon as they get these kinks worked out, they will be a dominant team, not only in Valhalla Campbell, but Division 1 as well. Chef Jack, very used to this Division 1 Fortnite. It is not something that surprises him by any means. He knows he's good. Again, same thing with Little Ben. They both know they're good. Both of these guys know how capable they are at this game. They just need to pull it out of themselves and bring it out of each other as well. Should just be another couple minutes. I always like to apologize for a little bit of a delay here. I kind of ramble on. This is Coach Christian Ramble time is what we should call this segment on the air. But yeah, just some time for me to be able to fill the gaps and talk to you guys a little bit about some of the stuff that goes on here. So I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I do, even though that it's mostly kind of improv. I enjoy the ramble time. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just heard that, Div 1 is on a 3-minute counter. So very, very soon, we will be back with some high-level Fortnite. Div 2 is also on a 3-minute countdown. Oh, and something I forgot to mention for you guys, and we haven't really been following it too much, but now that we're officially back into the swing of things, last week was a little bumpy. We apologize for that, of course. But now that we're officially back into the swing of things, we will go back to our regularly rotating schedule here. So for those of you that are not aware, Chef Jack and Little Ben, they being Team 1, will rotate out. We'll take a little break from watching them. They will be cooking independently. We might get updates here and there depending on how they do. But then next week, Breakfast Host, aka Gavin and Logan, will be our primary team. Full Box 200 will move up to that secondary spot, and then we will introduce a new third team. So that's kind of the rotation here of how things work, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we haven't followed that too much because of preseason and being out of the swing a little bit from having a seasonal break and not streaming as much during the winter. But now, again, we're back in our fully regularly programmed schedule of Fortnite and every other game. So we are back to our fully regular rotation of our teams. I anticipate it will be just about another minute, and we see some players getting water here, doing their last-minute routines, doing whatever they need to do to lock themselves back in and get the best drop possible here. A lot of these guys getting water, able to kind of get up, move around a little bit, loosen their bodies up. Something that doesn't get a lot of talked about a lot in esports is just kind of the physical aspect that it takes on you. Even though you're not physically doing a lot, especially compared to a lot of traditional sports, you are still being physically demanded, whether that be your hands and your wrists, whether that just be the way that you're sitting. You have to be very careful with a lot of these things. We talk about the injuries like carpal tunnel and everything like that. But let's step away from the negative stuff and let's look at the positive. We are about 30 seconds away from Div 1 Fortnite, probably about the same from Div 2 Fortnite. Again, starting with Division 1 again, and as soon as we are loading into the lobby, we will go back into the Fortnite perspective. Hope you guys are ready to go. They're having a bunch of fun. Wish you guys could see this. They are currently posing for a picture right in front of the streaming booth. But that's kind of some of the fun stuff that goes on around here. And we would love for you guys to be able to see some more of this. Currently cooking up some ideas, working on some other ways to get you guys a little bit more involved, especially for those of you that unfortunately are unable to make it in and depend on these streams to watch and to support. Which again, I'm very appreciative of. We're all very appreciative of, but we would love for you guys to be able to see some of the more silly kind of shenanigans that go on in the arena, but between these drops, even during the games, just seeing some of these emotions, seeing some of the stress, all of that is completely different than realistically what you guys are getting, which is just me up here talking. That's easy, dude. Anyone can talk, right? And then just seeing the perspective of the game. Probably just waiting another couple seconds at this point. I believe we have just about everybody in the drop. I didn't catch the exact number from the last one, but I know we are very close. Again, have to apologize for the delay. We always kind of have this with the way that Fortnite is formatted. Div 2 is dropping. I anticipate that Div 1 is going to be dropping any second now. Waiting for the update from Andrew to get that confirmation. Div 1 is dropping. And as soon as we have official touchdown in the game, again, we will switch. Here we go. More top tier Fortnite. Hope you guys are excited. I'm excited. Chef Jack and Little Ben, it's all on you now. All right, here we go. Here we go. Now, Little Ben's perspective is up. Currently watching his perspective. Definitely going to watch a good bit of his perspective since we had to watch Chef Jack's all of their drop last time, or in their previous drop, I guess I should say. Looks like they got the location they want to go. I actually believe it's the same thing. Shiny shafts. Looks like they're going to go right back to there. No hesitation, no questions asked. Going to go right back. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Div 3 dropping.
And we do see the visual audio there. It looks like there could be a glider to Little Ben's left. Again, potentially could get a contest on the drop here. Or a contest, I guess I should say. Same like that. And again, right back to Shiny. These guys are going to split up. Going to take half and half. Hope they don't get pushed early. Little Ben gonna very quickly go in to the facility here and potentially gonna open the vault here. I believe there's one of these kind of mini vaults that, yes, he is gonna open very quickly. Gonna get some of this material and just gonna have to change the setting around. Need to turn his reticle on. Chef Jack gonna take his first pick at this loot. Little Ben going to be left with the scraps. Luckily, these guys are a team, so they got no problem sharing. A little bit of a biffed pulse scanner, I believe, there from Little Ben. But that pulse scanner is going to reveal the location of everything around them. Chests, opponents. These guys are going to be very aware. We're seeing the material management here from Little Ben. Getting a bunch of metal, getting some gold, having a bunch of brick. And again, we anticipate that both of them will be on full metal. Once they are ready to leave this drop spot. I think with a POI like this, it's kind of necessary. I mean, if you're not getting full metal, what's the point? See Little Ben prioritizing that, trying to get as much material as he can, as early as he can. Doesn't want to be caught out. Looks like Little Ben here is actually going to carry a big. No, he decides to drop it. Little been so close to this max metal. We'll get it any second now. And has officially hit max metal. So at this point, just gonna try and get as much brick as he can from this location, and potentially wood as well. Not only from this location, but also when they're kind of rotating out here, obviously able to destroy some trees and stuff. Still farming some metal, trying to get brick though. And also at full brick. I don't know if he's really noticing that unless he's just farming. Oh, for Chef Jack, but looks like there's a little bit of a hidden area back here that has some extra chests that they're going to be able to loot up. I don't know if this is another way into the location or not. And a crazy legendary SMG there. That is a really good weapon to be carrying at this point. Little Ben just farming up a bunch of materials, I assume just for his teammate to be able to run by and pick up. Unless they're just trying to starve other teams of going to this POI and finding materials. And with that being said, let's actually pan over to Chef Jack and see how much materials he has. No, he's actually full metal, now just gets the full brick, has about 100 wood, so I would anticipate that Little Ben here is that they're either just trying to stall out at this point, or again, just trying to farm this metal so that way other teams cannot have it. Hopefully it will despawn by the time that they are getting out of here and are ready to go. That, or they just don't realize that they're both at 500. Also a very probable cause. I mean, Little Ben's got to know that he's at 500 of both at this point. Little Ben having a very good weapon loadout. Only having one heal item and no movement could be a little scary for them, especially if they get in a pinch. But it is still very early in the game, so no stress yet. Little Ben actually going to decide to pick up minis. No movement for him. And I anticipate that these guys are now trying to find some of these movement items. We see the launch pad come down just in case they do need to use it to get out. And Little Ben wants to actually take it. They're going to use it to rotate in a circle here. We anticipate seeing them take some of the time to break some of these trees to get max wood as well. And Little Ben just about there. And is at max all materials. I assume Chef Jack is probably all but there as well. And looks like they're actually going to take this porta potty. To put themselves in a little bit of a different position in the circle here. Right on the edge of Lone Wolf. These guys just trying their best to again find any movement items possible. Let's actually take a quick peek at Chef Jack's loadout. See how he's hanging in there. Chef Jack also having an exceptional loadout. Having 2 weapons, 2 healing items. Actually, I believe 3 healing items. So, oh no, it is 2. It's just 3 weapons, 2 healing items. So, the only thing missing from these guys' loadout is the movement, and it's something that I hate to harp on too much, but it is very important. And unfortunately, these guys are going to get pinched pretty quickly. Chef Jack going to get a lot of damage on him. He's in a pretty bad spot at this point. Has to kind of back out here, regroup. Little Ben still in the midst of it. Let's switch to him in a 1v1 edit battle here. And a good knock. But Little Ben is going to go down. And Chef Jack going to fall as well. Unfortunate for them from this drop. A 24th place. That is not how they wanted it to go. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's switch back to our second team, Breakfast Toast. Alrighty, looks like the issue was not fixed, so it's still just going to be Gavin's perspective. Unfortunately, Logan's having some issues, bugging out a little bit, but it's alright. We work with what we can here. Currently, Coach Kyle being in their comms as well. Again, these guys being a Div 2 team. These guys in a much different spot than we saw Chef Jack and Little Ben. These guys rotating around, taking their time, not having the greatest loadouts, but having much more well-rounded loadouts, having heals, having that movement item, having a couple weapons. These are the kind of loadouts that Coach Kyle raves about. This is what he wants to see his teams carrying. These guys just lurking right now, lurking in the bush. And Gavin actually going to land a couple good shots. A lot of good shots on the car and gets a crack. Gavin nowhere near. So I don't know if Gavin was knocked or not. Gavin turning off his stream, so... Or, excuse me, Logan turning off his stream. Gavin taking a lot of damage. Oh, just able to get that med off. Cutting it so close. Gavin taking a lot of extra damage here. And actually, yeah, just the solo here. So I don't know if they maybe had drop issues or something. And Gavin being instructed just to take his time here. He's going to let this team go around. He's going to rotate the opposite direction. Doesn't want to fight them again if he doesn't have to, especially being at this disadvantage. Runs right up onto his team. Takes a good amount of shots. Hits 60. We anticipate a push here coming out from this team. Gavin doing a great job at building, trying to keep as much height as he can. Oh no, unfortunately falls down though. That's not in the position he wants to be. Trying his best to edit his way out, but gets kind of stuck. And unfortunately is gonna go down. A little bit of a heartbreaking drop from them. But with that being said, let's transition to our third and final team, Full Box 200. And these guys very much in drop here. Currently in Crime City. Actually, I am completely mistaken. These guys are not alive. Looks like whoever we tabbed into is just currently playing a game that fooled me. But that being said, a little bit of a heart-wrenching way to end Fortnite for the night, but we will be having some post-match interviews. I don't know who we're going to talk to first. We might talk to one from every team, but give me 1 second. Okay, so yes, we are going to have some interviews, but just give us a minute here. All right. And sorry about a little bit of a miscommunication there, ladies and gentlemen. But as soon as I get the go-ahead, the AOK, aka whoever comes up here and wants to get interviewed, we'll get interviewed. Looks like it's going to be potentially Gavin and Logan first. The team of Breakfast Toast. Maybe these guys talking about it. Maybe a little worried. I understand. It's stressful up here. But does look like I'm going to be joined with Gavin. Gavin, talk to me a little bit about how you're feeling after those drops tonight.
Okay.
Okay? Why okay? Can you expand on that for me a little bit?
Because the first game, I got triple team.
Mm-hmm.
And the second game, I actually got third party because he crashed.
Okay.
He crashed.
Yeah, we saw the issues there. You know, the crash, obviously not the greatest outcome to happen. But you guys placed 5th in that first drop. What was the real difference other than the crash from the first drop to the second drop tonight?
It was more easier. I killed someone in the first drop when we placed 5th and all that. And the second game, I actually almost died first, but I got away from them. And then there was another team. They didn't know I was there, but like I shot one, and then they just turned their head and they just keyed me.
Okay. So again, some unfortunate circumstances again with the crash. You guys performing very well tonight, though. Can you talk to me a little bit about what you guys are hoping to continue to improve on as we move forward into farther weeks?
Rotate better. Rotate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that being a critical part of Fortnite, you know, something that I think everyone can continue to develop. Well, Gavin, thank you so much for your time up here. Keep your head held high, and we look forward to see you guys next week as well. All right, thank you. All right, it looks like now I'm going to be joined by his teammate. A little dab up. Congratulations. What's going on? Logan, talk to me how you're feeling after that, really, I guess, one drop for you because of the unfortunate crash. So talk to me a little bit about how you're feeling about that.
So the first one was really good. The only reason I died was because I couldn't find any heals. But other than that, I was doing doing pretty good. The second drop was going way better than the first one until
the crash. Yep.
So we had no mats the first time. The second time we had a lot.
Yeah, we saw you guys place 5th though. That's got to be feeling good, especially for you guys coming into this new season, not really knowing what to expect. Can you talk to me a little bit about how you're feeling, specifically as a team, about that 5th place finish?
So, I think that my teammate was pretty much the reason, because I got out when there was 15 teams. So I think he carried a lot. I feel like the only thing we need to work on is not jumping up into the air at the bat, because that's what pretty much I feel cost it. But other than that, we think we did pretty good.
Yeah, and you guys being and correct me if I'm wrong here, a pretty comfortable team of playing with each other. how have you guys really worked on this strategy of trust and communication with each other?
Well, I've had a lot of bad teammates, so I've learned from their mistakes and stuff like that. And then I had one teammate that didn't listen, so I just talk way more than normal, and he talks a lot as well. So it really helps when we're both very communicative.
Perfect. And finally, you answered the question a little bit, but I'm just going to ask again anyway. What do you guys, apart from the crash, because obviously you can't control that, but what are you guys hoping to improve next week and further on as we go later into the season?
For me, I would say probably like a lot of my aim isn't bad. I've been training with that, but I think probably more of my building and staying calm. That's something I need to work on a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And those things, again, are very crucial parts of Fortnite. You know, it makes sense. Well, Logan, thank you so much for your time up here. Don't try not to beat yourself up too much about that. The unfortunate crash and all that. You guys played very well tonight, so keep your head held high and congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Yep. All right. Have a good one. All right. Here he comes. The chef is in the kitchen. Chef Jack. Talk to me a little bit about how you're feeling after those drops.
So, I think we did all right our first game, and not the greatest our second game.
Yeah, I don't exactly remember your guys' placement from the first game. I'm pretty sure you were decent, but obviously that second drop being 24th. Can you talk to me a little bit about the difference in what changed between that first drop and the second drop?
Honestly, we tried to play a lot more safe, but Ben wanted to push the people down low. I tried to say it wasn't the greatest idea, but he's IGL after all, so I have to listen to him.
Yep.
And that ended up turning unfortunate for us.
Yeah, a little bit of a miscommunication, disagreement. Those things are going to happen, especially in the competitive industry that we're in.
Yeah.
Chef Jack, you being very aware of the Division 1 play and kind of everything that Fortnite entails, what are you doing your best to support him as the IGL to make sure that these disagreements don't happen that often?
Because this is his first real season of playing Fortnite. I tried and it's first time IGLing. I tried to help him IGL because I was originally an IGL.
Yep.
So my goal is to do well and also help him become a better IGL.
Yeah, absolutely. And finally, Chef Jack, talk to me. I know there's got to be something. We heard you over here. You're always in the kitchen cooking something up. What are you guys cooking up for not only next week but later into the season as well?
We're just going to try playing to one game because placement's better than kills.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jack, thank you so much for your time up here. Again, not terrible drops, but definitely not the drops I know you guys wanted. So keep your head up high and continue to get better and work hard. And thank you so much for your time again.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, believe potentially closing it out. See if we can get Coach Kyle to come up here. I don't know if anyone's still alive at this point, but I just want to give a big shout out to everyone that's come up here so far, and yes, Coach Kyle looks like still is coaching. Looks like we're having a. All right, so I stand corrected. We are not going to interview Coach Kyle, as there's still some people alive. So a little bit of an early ending tonight, but that's okay. Sometimes stuff happens. Not everyone can be 100% all of the time. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tune back in tomorrow for either Overwatch or Apex, and Wednesday with hopefully some either Rocket League or Rivals, and then Thursday, of course, more Valorant. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. From myself, Coach Christian, and everybody here at Valhalla, good night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.